Think of the connection between the lovers. Feel their love, but also their agony.
Who's the dancer with the makeup?
Please forgive me. I should have defended you when it most mattered.
Dante. I'm Oliver. What year do you think it is? 1962.
Hi and welcome to the SohoLIFF Spotlights. I'm delighted to be joined today with Sofia Soto and Jed Cox, who are here with their beautiful film, Pas De Deux. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Possibly not, but oh my goodness, you've got to see this. It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. For anybody watching this, could you just, without giving anything away, just describe a little bit of what the film is about?
Yeah, so it's the story about this young photographer who sees a ghost through his camera, and then he builds a connection with him and then helps him remember how he died. So it's about him going, just trying to figure out what happened to the ghost and help him move on in a way.
And I mean, the story between the protagonists, it's so beautiful, it's so sweet and lovely. What brought you to doing it this way, to finding the story the way you have?
I mean, it all started with an image because I was in this event at a film festival and I saw this guy who was wearing really cool makeup, and it was not Halloween, he was just wearing it. And it kind of stuck with me. I was like, that's beautiful how he's presenting himself like this. I just loved it and it kind of stuck with me. And then it just went from there. I think I was listening to music and I started to see the story form, and I saw like this dancer wearing this specific makeup. And then I was like, oh, maybe there is someone in the audience who is seeing him, but like this person in the audience is the only one who can see him. And then it just kind of started to develop, and then I thought it would be interesting to see how this connection would work when one of them can see the other only through the camera, and also one of them kind of hear the other person. So I just wanted to see how that connection would work, and how their friendship would develop from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a unique way of doing it. I read that you were inspired by Del Toro, the director. Mm-hmm. In what way did he inspire you? I
admire how a lot of his films, I mean, when you see a Del Toro film, you notice how he deals with monsters, but he presents them in a way where he shows their humanity. Yeah. So I wanted to tell a ghost story that was also different from how it's usually in horror films, where you see the ghost, but it's usually presented as scary, or you never really see the ghost. And I was like, I want to explore my ghost's humanity and how he also connects to the other people. And I think I wanted to take those elements of fantasy and mix it with drama and mystery and see how it worked.
Which it really did. It was just lovely.
Thank you.
Oh, and I mean, we have to talk about the dancing. I mean, and the choreography, and I mean, how's all of that come about? I mean,
Alejandro was the
Alejandro.
dancer,
was he a professional dancer?
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just and everyone in the whole of the cast, was that like a real class that you had then gone and sort of intercepted when you come along with your camera, or?
I mean, it was a lot of rehearsing.
I bet it was.
Because, yeah. So it was a bit hard to find the dancers. Even Alejandro, I struggled to find who Dante was going to be because I had a really specific image of how he looked. And then I emailed him, and then he did reply because he's a bit big on TikTok now. So I was like, I hope he replies. And then he did. And he loved the story, and he just brought a lot with him. Also to build a character like he is a character in a way. It was beautiful how he did it. And then with the other dancers, it was also a bit hard to find, so I had to go. I mean, I'm a dancer, so there was this only guy in my school, and I was like, "Do you think you could help me build like my little dance team?" And then he helped me choreograph the dance as well.
Oh,
So it was a lot of choreographing the dance first, then bringing Alejandro into the dance because he was doing his own thing, and then also kind of like bringing Jed, who was the one who was photographing the dancers. And so it was like choreography.
Did you choreograph for like stage, or did you do it for film?
We did it for, I'm guessing for both, because the dancers were performing for stage and kind of like for him.
Yeah.
But then it was, I think it worked both ways.
Yeah. And how was it working, through the camera? Because your responses are so natural. They're so, like, you're totally there. You're believing you. How is that for you?
With the camera, I remember there was some certain scenes when we would use it, and I don't know if it's because of the film camera, but I would look through the viewfinder and I'd be like, Alejandro, where are you? Because it was just black. And it's because he's wearing full white, I thought it would be easy to see him. But no, like, looking through the thing, I was always like, am I actually looking at him or looking at the right thing? Because most of the time I was genuinely just looking through it blind.
Yeah.
Because it was a very dark room as well. But it added a, new... Obviously very different to just talking normal like how we are. Because I can see him, he can hear me. He can see me, but he can't speak back to me. So playing with that dynamic was really fun to do.
Yeah. No, it's lovely. I mean, dealing with death, bereavement and all of that, it could have ended up being a very depressing film. But instead it's actually very poetic. You kind of like finish it with this sort of like... I mean, were you afraid of how to broach that? Or did you just go for it and have an image of how it was going to be?
I mean, it kind of just came through the writing as well, but also the editing, because how the film ends was not the actual ending of the film.
Oh, really?
We had,
more scenes.
We had, two scenes. We had one at the beginning and one at the end, which did show a bit more about the connection of Oliver and Raven, who is his sister, but you kind of don't see that in this version, because we had to cut that because it was just too long. And also, it kind of lost the impact of Oliver and Dante. So that's why I decided to end that kind of where it ends. And it still didn't have a depressing ending, so I did want it to be more like, even though Dante does move on, or he's like in that same moment with Oliver, it's just about hope and connection, how the two of them kind of managed to come together and how Oliver helps him in a way.
Yeah.
So,
because for that scene you told me to look at La La Land, the ending of La La Land, with where Seb and Mia say bye, like through the look. So that was what you told me to look at, and that was cool.
Oh.
yeah. So,
I mean, and I mean, the way that you've used movement as well. I mean, do you think, sort of like coming over here, obviously from Mexico and living over here, do you think that that sort of like working with language and as a dancer as well, was that something that you really wanted to work with from the beginning, or did that just flow? Did it just happen as you started writing?
I think it was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
I did want to, because the film is a lot about expression, and as he also said, communication between two people who can't really communicate as you usually do, like through language. So a lot of that does come into play of me being from Mexico, and also just learning to how would you say it? Yeah, just communicate with people differently, and also like the barriers of how when you can't really communicate with someone on the same level, I would say. So it is a lot about communication, but also other ways to communicate when you don't have like the confidence or a way to do it easily, and I
Yeah.
did want to deal with it as like communication through art and expression, and how in the montage when Dante is dancing, he's expressing that through the dance as well.
Yeah, I mean, it really gets you, because it's like, even though it's not words, it's actually more powerful. I don't think you could have written anything that would affect you in the same way as actually through there. It's lovely. I mean, what do you hope the audience is going to take from this?
Well, I guess for me with Oliver, it's kind of him growing up, and we spoke about it a little bit with like he has maybe like a little romance or some sort of feelings towards Dante, which obviously have their own quite obvious problems with, like he obviously they can't communicate, so it'd be quite hard for him to have a full relationship with him. And with having the letter from his granddad that he wrote, he knew that was kind of the right thing to do, to give it to him to free him.
Yeah.
And it's about Oliver growing up as well. And I think also the thing that hit me more when I first saw it and read it was Elliot and Dante, their relationships, obviously from 1960s, what happened with Dante affected Elliot in such a way that I don't know if you intended it this way, but he obviously then didn't feel safe being, I guess, gay anymore, because then that's how Oliver came around. So yeah, I do feel like that's what really hit me the most, was Elliot not being able to feel safe from what happened with Dante, and not knowing that Dante's still alive. He obviously had that hope that was in the letter,
Yeah.
but he didn't know what really happened, and he blamed himself for that.
Yeah.
And what about you, Sophia? Because you mentioned hope as well.
Yeah, I think adding
Yeah.
to that is a lot about hope, and how, because the film is a lot about connection, and not only the hope that Oliver gives to Dante, but also the hope that Dante gives to him in a way, and like that connection that they build, and how it's also the connection between the past and the present, and how his death, like here, I guess Oliver finds a way to free Dante of the past and of what happened to him, and it has to do also a lot about, as I said, past and present, and how, because you mentioned the 60s, and at that time, I mean, it was still homosexuality was still criminalized.
I know.
So it's a lot about that, and just the hope that Oliver kind of brings to Dante in the present. Also how that is kind of like portrayed through dance and photography, in, I mean, how also through the film I'm kind of showing the mix of all the art and how they're able to, I'm guessing, get some hope from whatever issues that they're actually in the world, and how you can express yourself through art and also through other people and communication as well.
No, it's beautiful. It finishes and you feel, it just feels very, very beautiful, even though it's tackling some very difficult subject matters. So it's wonderful. Well done. Really well done. Festivals, film festivals, why are they important to you with this film?
I feel like they're really important because, I mean, audiences get to see what we made, and I mean all the effort from like casting crew and everyone.
Yeah.
And
on the big screen.
Yeah. We get to share with everyone, and also to celebrate the film is a lot about art, so celebrate art and what it's showing and what it tries to say.
Yeah.
So I feel like festivals are really important in the way that, I mean, you guys give filmmakers a voice and more opportunity to show what we created.
very honoured to be giving a voice and a platform to this. So look, thank you so much. You have to see this. It's a beautiful film, it really is. And we'll be screening in our January festival 2025, which sounds like forever away, but it's actually not, is it? But make sure you get down and see this. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for choosing our film.